YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this. We've got something new and exciting. Yes, it's flashing lots of lights. Pretty exciting stuff. If you need to get a drone that is cheap and also has tons of features, we had to put these decals on. It was super fun. Did it with my son. And it has all labeled buttons, which is really nice. Even the on-off switch is labeled. And this thing has tons of really fun features. We're gonna fly it for you right now, and then I'm gonna show you the son flying it as well. Okay, so up and then down, and it arms, and look at the pulsating lights, super cool. And then there's lots of little cool features. I would not recommend with the kids flying in headless, but there's an emergency stop. You have to do that for a second. I wouldn't probably plan on it. LED on, off, you can change the different modes, which is really cool. And yes, some of these look like they're just a different color, but they're actually, some of them are different modes, okay? So I'm just gonna go through. There's a billion of them.
So if you had multiple kids flying, they could have their own color.
That's right, and the only thing you have to provide is 3 AAAs back here. I did not put my safety screw in because we don't have little kids, okay? The flips work, the circle fly works, all the things work, and it does a really good job of working. Also, it does have an optical flow sensor, which is really nice. So the reason we're showing all this is because we'll show the unbox at the end. It does come with a charger, has a unique charging port, so stay tuned for that if you want to see. And without further ado, we're going to take off. Remember, you need about 1 meter of height to take off. So you see this lamp? It won't hit it, but it's going to get really close. So I'm going to clear it over here. Okay, so sticks down and out. Nope, don't even have to do that, right? You
nope, just the up and down.
Up, down. So up, and then hit up, and look, it's on. So there's also a button that says take off land. So take off. Woo! Pretty exciting. And now it's going to more or less fly itself at an appropriate height. And it's also going to make adjustments because of the optical flow sensor. It does a really good job of holding altitude, but just be careful. This does slide a little bit past potential pilots' heads. And yes, it's really fun. So I'm just gonna show you speed 1, speed 2, speed 3. As you can see, you can make it go faster. It does really good in tight spots, which is nice. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fly over here and land it and give you guys a chance to see the flips, and then we're gonna hand off. Okay, so flip 1, it gains altitude. Flip 2, flip 3, and flip doesn't do 4. That would be the backward facing flip. You'll notice that it's up by the fan and it does just fine. But even if it were to get hit, I think it would survive because it's actually got a pretty strong, durable body on it. And then there is a circle fly mode. I'm gonna just show you circle flight over the heads. As you can see, it orbits a central location. So wherever you are, and then to start flying, by the way, you can actually control it, but it's going to break out of circle flight mode, okay? So circle fly again, and then I'm just gonna control out of it, okay? So now the next move we're gonna make is we're gonna go ahead and let one of our younger kids fly it. So we'll come up here and take off from this same spot. I'm gonna use the land button, press the land button, and it lands. Very good, shuts off the props quick. And just keep in mind, these are thick and robust guards. So it's not something you have to be super worried about, but still don't land in your sister's hair, okay? You ready? Go ahead, he's gonna fly this. He's our youngest. He does good with flying. He can fly airplanes, but just barely, and usually the easier airplanes, right? So here you go. He does fly a few helicopters and things like this, so we're just gonna let him fly. Remember, you're in speed 3, so click the speed button once. Listen to the number of beeps. Now beep again. 2 beeps. Now do it again. Now go back to 1. Okay. You can use the 1 button takeoff, or you can hold the stick up. Go ahead and do it. Oh, there you go. You're in full control. Now, when the lights start to flash, that means that your battery's gonna get low. Remember, you wanna bring it lower so that mom can film without shooting straight at the backdrop of the outside, okay? You're doing a great job.
Can
Just
you do
it like normal?
Can you do a circle or a flip?
Yeah, do a flip. So pull this one and then choose what direction. Oh, excuse me, this one. See how it works? Okay, now let's walk out just a little bit. Good job. Now, is it hard to fly?
No.
Do you like flying it?
Yeah.
This is one of the better ones you have, right? And it's easy to control. So like if you let go of the sticks, it just stops, which is really nice, right? Now bring it down here and fly it right in front of us next to the ground so that we can really get a good look at it. These decals were super detailed and kind of a pain to put on. And so guys, while he's flying for just a second, we had to use an X-Acto knife to apply them because they were so small. So if you're parents in the room and you're buying this for your kid, plan on using an X-Acto knife. It's gonna help make it a lot easier in application. We had a couple that just didn't work well, like on the canopy. It does open, by the way. And yes, there are decals on the seat. Show the camera through the seat. Bring it right up to the camera.
You're
so
good.
Cool.
Good job, bud.
Okay, now go ahead and fly wherever you want. In fact, if you want to do a flip right here, go right in the middle and then just see if you can make it execute a flip right in front of us, okay? That's your next challenge. Okay, ready? Good job. Isn't that cool? And you can be close because you don't have to worry about getting hit with it. Now, my only complaint with this particular model is the flight times are not really long.
Yeah.
That's a 950 milliamp 1S pack, and it is integral. It does slide in and it locks in very easy to load, very easy to unload, but it takes a little bit of effort to charge. So when this gets done, I'm gonna show him plugging it in, and I'm gonna get that prepared while he flies. Cam crew, you got thoughts on this?
I like it. As a parent, it's easy for him to fly it on his own without a lot of supervision. I feel like it's got good protection from the blades, both from the bottom and if he would run into something. It's not super fast. It doesn't make me nervous with him flying inside. I think it looks cool. It's kind of got that like futuristic, spacey, like it looks cool compared to some of the other ones that he's had.
I like that the lights change.
Yeah.
They change a lot too. They don't just change colors. There's a lot of different modes.
Yep.
And you get a lot of warning when it's gonna die. We'll start seeing flashing lights on the detailed lights on the sides. One thing I do notice about this, and it's not unusual on drones, is it's a little bit loud.
It is.
So you'll notice that I'm talking loud right now.
So now we're at a red flashing light on the back, which means
Nope, that doesn't matter. This matters, right there. These side lights matter. These are the ones, so bring it down a little bit.
Okay.
Yep. This light is actually a function of the warning as well. Okay. But all the lighting modes, these will flash when you get to the lighting mode. Very easy to tell what direction forward is, right? Okay. So I want you to bring it over and do a landing right here, bud. And then I'm gonna have you take back off again, okay? Just let it down. You can use the one-touch landing button too. So there's two ways. You can either hold the stick down, which would be right here, all the way down, or you can press the takeoff or landing button, okay? So it's very intuitive flight controls, and not every drone is created equal. So what do you think of the size of this?
It's bigger than my normal drone.
That's what he likes the best.
Yep.
And so because it's bigger, it's got bigger props, and because it's bigger, it requires a larger battery. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and fly until it falls out of the sky, okay? It's not gonna take much longer. Now he uses the up button or the up throttle collective to actually make it go up. He doesn't like using the one touch button. The one touch button might be easy for somebody with a little bit less airplane experience because we're just used to using that with helis and stuff.
Yep.
It is very easy to tell what direction's forward because they've got that molded body on there. Bring it lower, please. There you go. Good
And
job.
I think that's helpful for him. It would be helpful if you have a newer, a kid that's never had a drone before to know which direction you're going.
And it's a very good flying helicopter, drone, aircraft. It does well in tighter spots. In fact, can I show them one thing before we go? Fly down the hallway and just don't take too long because I don't want the battery to die. Because hallways are difficult, okay? Now you can go as high as you want now. Camera crew's blocking him. There we go. Now fly back out. You see, even bumping the wall, you don't have to worry about hitting the pictures or about hitting the walls or the drywall. It's not gonna get stuck to the ceiling because there's plenty of clearance on that. Of course, we got vaulted ceilings in this room, so they do weird things when you hit a vault. But my biggest issue with these airplanes sitting all around is that if you were to hit an airplane, you might damage it. Well, they're well protected. And go up high so they can see it too, hon. And you bring it down just a little bit for me. That is a long warning.
It is a really long warning, actually.
Normally when you get a faster flash, that's when it's gonna literally fall.
Right.
So if you were flying over water, you might lose the optical flow sensor. So the stabilization that brings it to a rest when you let go might kind of let go, and it might slide a little bit further as you let off the controls.
I think bang for the buck in terms of like a gift idea. This one has a lot of features built into it that some of the other ones don't have.
Let's see what the cat thinks of it. Cat, what do you think? That's what I figured. So I'm gonna fly it just to use up the power a little bit, and I wanted to show a crash.
There you go.
So you see how quick it de-energized? That's one thing I wanted to show, and I didn't want my son to have to be responsible for crashing it. So when you do crash, you'll notice that short of hitting a bunch of hair on the ground, it's not gonna be a big deal. So I'm gonna take off. That's the one-touch takeoff. And as you can see, I'm in speed 3 still. So speed 3 is gonna give you plenty of control authority. You can still blow things off the counter as you wish. And you can still, like if I wanna knock that box over, let's see if we can knock the box over. Yes, yes, we knocked the box over. Amazing. So these drones, they're not all created equal, folks. And I can tell you this, even from below, you can see the lights, which is nice. So if you decide to fly outside, that's totally fine. Even if you hit yourself, you don't have to worry about getting hurt, because unless you reach into it and grab the prop, which is probably never gonna happen, you should be fine. And there it's dying. So it just decided to land. So very long warning times. Obviously the kids can do it, no problem. And that's a pretty good amount of flight time. Now, the difficulty we found with this, right, is getting that battery out, okay? So if you have a smaller child, you may have to help them break this free, because you have to press down on that tab. That will wear and tear. Let's see if you can do it. You ready? So first things first, show the people how to charge it. This is not provided, by the way, so go ahead and plug that in. And you can use any run-of-the-mill charger, nothing special. We happen to have an outlet here on the end of our cabinet, okay? So it turns a light on, and then I'm gonna have you try to get the battery. If you can't, you should be fine. I'll go ahead and hold this just to make sure. See, yep, got it that time. So even though he shot it across the room, I want him to really show you how this works. Now grab the adapter, and then look at the way that it's organized there. You had it right the first time? Okay. And it only goes in one way. Nope, all the way. Make sure it's all the way. Now that light turns red, and it'll actually, in our case, we're pretty lucky because we can set it right there. But my suggestion is anytime you charge a LiPo, you usually want to let it cool. This one's not hot. If it's hot, let it cool. And then just put it on a hard surface. Now go ahead and shut off the controller. If I have a kid's toy and a kid can't turn it off, it's not a kid's toy, okay?
Yep.
Because kids have to be able to actually run the entire life cycle of the device.
And he was practicing a little bit yesterday, and I think one time I had to help him get the battery out, and then the other times he was able to do it himself.
He's figured out with his thumbnail how to get in there and pull it out. So if you have a strong enough finger, you can release this tab, okay? Now this is my only complaint on this particular device, is that is pointed inboard, which means we can't use some of our other more conventional and bigger chargers, okay? That's why we didn't mention it in this video, because it isn't going to be compatible without building special cables. Now, if you had a special adapter cable, or for instance, if you didn't like this charging method, I could cut this off, not while it's powered, of course, and I could build an end on it, and I could charge it in a million different ways. We have a million different batteries, we have a million different chargers, and I know how to do that. It's not hard, but for the average Joe that just wants to get a drone for their kid, you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. You like it, right? I like it. I think it's great. Also, we spent a pretty good amount of time putting these decals on, and yes, this does lift open. We found that it's pretty easy. If you kind of push down on that, you can lift it. But you see it wants to snap shut, it does open, okay? So one of the only decals that we couldn't get, these two black dots are marker, and then there was supposed to be a decal on here, but it gets ripped off every time you open the canopy. Yeah. So my suggestion is, it's one of the most frustrating decals to apply, and it didn't work well, okay? These decals looked fine. I got a couple in the wrong spots, but who cares? It still looks sweet.
Yep.
And honestly, I thought we don't need the decals, but then we kind of actually put them on and thought, yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
So
you'll see it at the end of the video without the decals.
And we do fly it right away.
Yeah.
We have a maiden flight for you. This is like what, our 4th or 5th flight total. So awesome product, really well done, lots of strength. Like I said, the only complaint is the direction that the port plugs. But the trade-off to that is it's quite easy to install the battery. And if you want the kids to be able to do it without a ton of assistance, this does the trick. Okay?
And I would get an additional battery. If there's an option to order multiple
Always
batteries,
order them with
get
them.
more batteries.
And we say that for a lot of these little helis and things. They have switched away from having, you know, like a battery like this that would be, you know, something you might use, to batteries like this that stick into the devices. They have battery management circuits on them, which is really nice, and you don't have to worry about that on some of the more sophisticated helicopters and things like that. We've been seeing they've been switching over to that. Some of us are annoyed in the hobby realm because we have so many good batteries and they're expensive and they add up. I mean, you buy 100 batteries, you got 100 batteries, they're all expensive. But when you get a drone like this, my suggestion is always get it as many batteries as you can get because they're cheap. And usually, frankly, our experience has been with a lot of drones, usually your batteries are the first thing to fail, okay? Yeah. Or getting hairs in the props. If you ever pull a motor out, they do come out, they have a friction fit, so you don't have to undo them with screws or glue or anything. And then a lot of times you're gonna have to be very careful. Study this video if you're trying to figure out how to put the prop on, because they are a pressure fit. You'll notice that the hole goes all the way through, okay? So if you're trying to replace that, a lot of times you have to take a flat bladed screwdriver or something like this to get in there and pry the props off, get the hair out, put the prop back on, and you're golden, okay? Yeah. And that is something we do a lot, actually.
We do.
When the kids are flying. That's why I like the fact that this sits off the ground enough to avoid getting into the hairs in the fibers of your carpet or on a hardwood floor, a tile floor, that sort of thing. That's the number one problem we have with all drones, not just this one, okay? Questions? Nope. Concerns? I like this one. I think it's really well done. And guys, it's cheap. It's cheap and it's well done. That's an unusual combo. Usually when we see really cheap, we see big compromises in quality. And in this case, we didn't see a lot of big compromises in quality because it just worked well.
Right.
So stay tuned. Unbox, build radio setup, and our True Maiden are all in one, and that's at the end of the video. We like to lead off with the flight so you guys can understand whether or not it's worth investing the few minutes we watch going through the setup. And the unbox will help you determine whether or not it's actually packaged well, coming from China or wherever it is, okay? That being said, if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC, and this is just one of our 4 children, so he's our littlest one, and he does really good on this stuff. We have our oldest one likes to fly, and then we have 2 girls in the middle who don't seem to have a lot of interest, which is too bad. Trying, but not finding success yet. Maybe one day. But in the middle, I just suggest that if you want to help support Brian Phillips RC, buy these amazing products from the links in the video description below. We're going to let you know if they're garbage or if they're good or if they're somewhere in the middle. A lot of times what sets the stage for quality is going to be price. This is an unusuality because it's got a lot of features for a good price. And we have seen some that are cheaper, but they're quite a bit smaller, like to the tune of about 1/3 the size.
Yep.
Okay. And you can spend a lot more and get a lot bigger and a lot better, frankly, but they're a lot more money, like to the tune of like 5 times as much as this, right. Maybe 10. So very good product, very well done. I think he's going to enjoy it. And yes, we do have more like this coming because this brand has actually sent us another one we're going to do that's more of a premium product. So as always, BrianPhillipsRC.com. You can compare and contrast things like drones, fixed wing aircraft, general aviation aircraft, helicopters, quads, VTOLs. We do all sorts of stuff, jets, EDFs. We have them organized so you can find what you want. And all you have to do is scroll through and find the particular playlist. We wish we could just use the playlist search tools on YouTube, but they don't work because we have so many videos. Yeah. And we do a lot of long format to try to help you start from the chair into the air. And that's what we say on this channel. We tell the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God, so that you can get out of the chair and into the air. Usually for returning pilots that have taken a hiatus for one reason or another, or brand new pilots. In this case, a brand new pilot. Or if you're a pilot and you want to get your kids involved, one of the best things about flying these little drones is you can fly them when it's windy out, when it's raining out, or when it's snowing out, or something disgusting like that. At the end of the day, these controls are going to be very similar to helicopters and similar, but not the same as airplanes, because that's spring-loaded collective side or throttle side, depending on how you look at that. This does come out of the box in a mode 2 So that means mode 2 is up and down, yaw, so that'd be like a just pivot on its axis, and then lean forward, lean back, lean to the right, lean to the left, unless you go into headless mode, and that's a different function, so you'll want to look into that and play with it and see if you like it better. I don't like headless mode. I think it's very confusing. So headless mode moves this way. It's very weird. I don't like it, and it's very confusing with an aircraft style drone. If you have a drone that's unmarked with no lights, headless mode sort of makes better sense, okay? Or headless mode works better when you have cameras involved and you're trying to focus on an object, so it'll keep pointed a certain way. I don't like headless mode. I think it's very confusing for the kids too. Plus, it doesn't fly like airplanes or helis. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we want to teach people, the next generation and the returning generations, about how to fly, how to take advantage of the tech, and how to enjoy it the best by stretching your RC dollars. And the way we do that is by helping you pick between the vast pool of Chinese garbage, so you can pick out the ones that aren't garbage, okay? And if they are garbage, you'll tell from the video, I promise. All right, up next, the Unbox Build Radio setup. Oh, other ways to support Brian Phillips RC, we have 2 monthly support methods now. We have Patreon and YouTube members, both monthly. YouTube Super Thanks for one-time donations, and PayPal if you don't want to be part of those 3. We understand. We also have a PO box. If you need to send something, just let us know so we're aware of it, because we don't check PO box hardly ever. And as always, the easiest way to support Brian Phillips RC, smash the like button right now. Click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe. And if you want to support us financially, buy the products that we're reviewing. That helps us to help bolster our relationships with the companies that do send products that we review. And there's thousands of them. So not one company owns our opinion, and we tell you the full truth. That's the way we do it, guys. Because we do want these companies to succeed, we're not willing to undermine you, the reason we're here, our audience, because they made some piece of garbage and they want to sell it. Believe me, they all want us to sell their garbage, okay? But we're still going to tell you what's bad about it. And then you can make up your mind. All right, that's all we got for you. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for flying. Good job. Stay tuned. Unbox next. YouTube, Brian Phillips. We're going to open this box right now. Hopefully we'll get you out of the chair and into the air. And we do that a number of different ways on this channel here on Brian Phillips RC. And what we have here today is what looks like a kid's toy. Yes, that's right. And this kid's toy happens to be an amazing little drone, okay? Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Brian, you do airplanes. Well, we do all of it. But this one is Mach 500.
Oh.
So it's extra fast. We're gonna find out if it's any good. It's supposed to be easy copter, okay? So be unique, like a polar bear that flies what looks strangely like Star Wars.
There's like a little story over here about the bear, I think.
Well, okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and open this product and see if it works. This has a takeoff feature, auto hover, flip, and circle fly. Ooh, cool. That's pretty nice. So we'll see if it's any good. Guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we want you guys to have a great experience when you spend your RC dollars. Holy cow, there's lots of things. What is all that stuff? Decals?
Charger.
Hisingy.
Okay. Yeah, something like that.
Hisingy. Okay. It comes with some trading cards too, which is very bizarre. But whatever trips your trigger. This is obviously marketed more to children, but I'm just going to tell you right now, the transmitter is fine. Ooh, headless, takeoff, landing, emergency stop, circle fly. Hey, so where did they figure out that you can label these? That's amazing. On, off. Okay, so the on position, calibrate the gyro. That is very cool. I love that they have the instructions right there, because then you don't have to figure out some weird decoded Chinese message in the manual. Just print it on the transmitter. So, pretty sweet. It's obviously got a Chinese sounding name. I assume this is made in China still, just like everything else. But we'll see if it works. It does look like brushed motors. A little bit more detailed body. Let's look at that now. The underside, pusher props, easy copter. Nice protections. They're thick. They actually have a little bit of meat to them. I'm concerned it's going to be heavy as a result. There are probably going to be some LEDs. There's the battery, actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So they have a protective cover on what looks like a micro connector, but it's not a micro PH 1S connector, but this would be a 1S pack. And it looks like it's a 3.52 watt hours, 950 milliamp hour, 3.7. That's a big, so it's almost 1,000 milliamp hours, a lot bigger than what we're used to seeing in this size class. Now, a couple things. We're going to charge it right now. Okay. So it comes with a little provided charger with a provided plug. Full disclosure, this plug is slightly different than many of the other plugs that we use, and it looks like it goes in right there. Oh, yeah. But it's going to be very easy to load. So let's get this charging right now before we continue. Here on Brand Phillips RC, we do a lot of different products, and usually what we would do on an equipment like this, okay, so we find just a run-of-the-mill USB-A equipped charger. Okay, so there's a blue light that comes on. Okay, so we'll just pull this out. Now, when the kids fly these things, you don't want to remember where this charger is. So my suggestion is put it with it when it's charged. That's my 2 cents worth. Of course, your kids are going to be a little different than ours, probably. And it goes to a red light, which is nice. So it's a very distinct difference. Now, also note where the plug is. Okay, it's here. You cannot use the standard charger that we would normally recommend, which is this. And I think it's a PH 2.0, but I don't know for sure. You still can't use it because you can't plug this into it.
Right.
So you're stuck using the provided factory charger. In the event that you have one of those chargers, you might be able to build a patch cable, and that patch cable would get you from here to there. But just remember, you'll want to scroll in almost 1 amp because it is a pretty good sized battery.
Yeah.
Okay, so while that's charging, they include some snacks. Just kidding, don't eat. We'll put these together, get these out of the way, and then let's look at what we've got. All right, so inside this bag, we've got just certain stuff. Let's see what it is. Okay, so it looks like we've got more kind of kid stuff.
Quick start guide.
Okay, so it talks about the ways that you can do it, which is pretty good. Okay, pretty neat. Journey starts here. This is just kind of like a story about the bear. Okay, don't care at all about that, but you guys can enjoy it if you buy one. And then the stickers for the cockpit, if you decide you want to do that. I think we're going to let the kids do that.
Okay.
If they decide they want these stickers, then we'll let them put those on because they might think that's fun. Obviously, kids are going to be engaged in this. They can take some ownership in it. And obviously, I have lots of toys here.
That you put your own stickers on?
That's right.
Yep.
And I usually do enjoy putting stickers on, but I don't necessarily enjoy filming that process. So we'll put this stuff away and we'll give that to our son when he's ready to try this thing out for himself. And we probably will have our son fly it just so you guys can see if it's a worthwhile pursuit for your kids. The worst thing you can do is get a plane or a helicopter that a kid cannot fly and then give it to them.
Yeah.
You will be responsible for all the screw ups. You will have to fix it. You will have to change the batteries. You will have to charge the batteries. You will have to do all that stuff. If it's a pain in the neck, you won't like that plane. Okay,
Yep.
Promise you. But that's part of the reason why we do this stuff here on Brand Phillips RC. We have the experience. We can pass it along. Forgot the playing card. And we will pass it along because that's what we do to try to bring value for you guys when we bring something that is specifically geared to children. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, but you review toys on this channel. And it's like, yeah, sometimes. But the toys we review cost more than your first car. And they're like $1,000, $600 and something dollars. I don't even know. Probably $700, $800, $800.
Yep.
These things are not cheap. They don't just give these things away. There's thousands of dollars worth of hellies here. When you get addicted, you'll realize that it becomes, it's going to fill whatever budget you put it in. Okay,
Right.
I can just tell you that. So when you get something like this, it's not going to break the bank, but it is going to help get your kid in the air. Now, I know a lot of talk right now. This is the unbox build radio setup portion of the video. We're going to get a Phillips screwdriver. It did not come with a screwdriver.
It did not.
Of all the random crap that it came with.
Right. A screwdriver might be
I
nice.
actually believe that it didn't come with a screwdriver, especially these stupid safety screws. I get that this is geared to children, so it does kind of make sense that we're going to have this on it. Okay. So there's a singular Phillips screwdriver. I don't know when we decided that kids were going to start eating batteries.
I don't know.
Like, when did, as a society, did we decide we need to protect against every eventuality? I get button batteries, makes sense, because those go in and hurt kids really bad. But I didn't know they were eating AAAs.
AAAs. So 3 AAAs?
Like kids feed your kids,
Yeah.
not batteries. Okay, so do you have AAAs?
No, we got to get some.
Okay, we'll get some. All right, so we found some AAAs. Take the flat side, go to the spring, flat side to the spring, and flat side to the spring. Okay, so it deet. That's the way the Chinese call beeps. They say deet. Okay, so there it is. So that clips. You do not have to put the screw back in. There's also this. I'm not really sure why there's another clip, but real quick, as you turn it on, you can see it beeps. Okay, that's gonna arm it. I'm gonna shut it back off. You're gonna press at some point up, down, arm it. So when you press that, it's gonna execute the rolls. Okay. Now we have this spare screw for something else. Now we can finally build that house.
Oh, good.
I'm promising you. We're gonna let our battery charge, and we'll come right back with this thing. All right, so it's a little bit later, and as you can see, this light's gone back to blue. We just kind of set this up on the charger. And so that means this must be fully charged, okay? Now, I do not know if it's fully charged, but I'm assuming it is, okay? Because it went back to blue. If you recall, it was flashing green earlier, right? So this battery, I'm gonna wanna slide it in here and turn it on, but I wanna probably turn this controller on first. How do you turn it on?
Slide.
Oh, there's a slider. Okay, so then this thing is very easily loaded because it just slides in, and it's got this keyed position. So you can see right here, you have to press down and force that in. Wow, very good lights.
Okay.
Okay, so now obviously we have lots of flashing. Okay, so in this case, up, down. Yep, definitely makes it easy. Okay, so if I go up, it's, oh, that's cool. They change colors. Okay, so I'm gonna go up, I'm assuming. So it went right to 1 meter. And so I'm gonna yaw left, yaw right, forward. Okay, so it's definitely very easy to fly. Very easy to tell that the afterburners, or whatever you wanna call them, are on that side. Got lots of power. I love the lights.
Yeah.
That's going backward. We'll actually fly over this plant here, which is some cattails from our pond. Very easy to fly. Okay, now, there's also different tricks, and there's a kid there that's gonna drive it here in just a second. Okay, so real quick, you can do LEDs on or off. You can change the colors.
Oh,
see?
and the brightness, or maybe that's just different blues. Okay.
Why is it going forward so much? See this? There's a trim. Oh, let's calibrate the gyro real quick. So I'm gonna put this right here on the table or the counter, and then I'm gonna say calibrating the gyro.
I think you have to hold. Oh,
Nope.
that's it. Okay.
Now I'm gonna take off with the up key, or I pressed up, and there's also take off landing. Okay, so there it is. Now you can cancel, if this is like other drones, I'm gonna land, take off. You cannot stop it from going that high, okay? So if it goes high and it hits the ceiling, it's gonna hit the ceiling. Let's just talk about this. Look, I don't have to worry about it hitting me. It does sort of nudge its way forward a little bit. Seems to be doing pretty good now. A little bit of oscillation there at that level, okay? Very good lighting, very cool. LED on and off. There's also headless mode. So when I go to headless, what's gonna happen is, okay, so headless mode is a different mode of flight. I can actually take off. I'm gonna shut off headless. I might just take off from there. Let's take off. Nope, okay, I gotta go up there and get it real quick. So I'm just gonna grab it. I can actually reach this pretty easy. So I'm lucky, but we'll put it down here. We'll just let it be level. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press takeoff again. It's gonna go to 1 meter. Headless mode is like this. Up, down, and then it just goes forward, backward, left, and right. So it doesn't actually, you can spin, but then it still goes forward, backward, left, and right based on the same position. But it gets very confusing. So I'm shutting off headless. I hate headless mode. I think it's dumb, and I about knocked over my Draco. So that's pretty dang good. Now, there's also trim. This is the left trim, right trim, back trim, and forward trim, okay? But you can also just calibrate the gyro. There's also flip. So I'm gonna go up here, go to a little bit of altitude. We're gonna press the flip button, and then to the right, very good. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring it back here just a little bit. And we're gonna do a forward flip. So press the flip and then press forward. It does very good with those. And then, so you can't flip backwards.
Okay.
You can only flip forward, left, and right. Let's try again. Nope, it doesn't do back. Okay, so then speed, there's double beep. Okay, so you can see, okay, now triple beep. It's a lot faster. Definitely gonna take a little bit more skill. I've got enough skill to fly around. As long as I'm not in stupid headless mode, it's no big deal, okay? It goes up, it goes down. I'm gonna go back to speed level 1 and I'm gonna press land. Okay, now, if it's that easy, time for the kid to fly. You ready? He's obviously quite excited. So what do you think of this? LEDs, you can change the color. You can pick a color, or it just goes through like an, you know, ooh, that's cool. It does multicolors.
Oh, cool.
That is so neat. So it does, oh, let's do that. Okay, so bud, why don't you put it on the ground? So you got a little bit extra room. Now remember, this has a one-touch takeoff, but you can also hold the stick up to take off. So why don't you just hold the stick up so it's more conventional, okay? Now go up a little higher so you're above the planes. Now hold on. I'm just gonna defend this. Yeah, it's easy to see what direction you're going, isn't it? Okay, come over here, hon, so you can see both. Right there.
There you go.
So how do you feel on the controls? Do you feel like it's pretty easy to control it? Okay, now I want you to practice doing a landing on the island right here. Like if this is where you need to land, I want you to see if you can do that. Bring it all the way to this spot, okay? Like it, you have to be right there. Okay, good job. Now there's also the one-touch landing and there's circle fly. So why don't you take off with that button this time? Just be careful. If you were to hit that, that'd be a bit of a mess, okay? So go out into the center of the room there. And I want you to do the circle fly, okay? So, let's go a little bit out here and so we're right in the middle, okay? Uh-oh, it started flashing. So we'll see how long it goes. So now hold on. Let me try something real quick, bud. I want to see the circle fly before the batteries die, okay? Okay, so we're gonna go here, right here. I'm gonna press circle fly. That's left, right, back. It's still, I can't tell what circle fly means.
Are you doing anything?
It didn't do anything. Oh, unless it might not be able to do it in a lower voltage.
If it's in the low battery.
Okay, so now there's an emergency stop and it falls straight out of the sky, okay? So emergency stop is right there.
Okay.
I really, really like that there's an emergency stop. You see where that emergency stop is? It's that red button, okay? So there you have it. I'm actually quite impressed with the way this worked. Did you think it was pretty easy to fly? Mm-hmm. Okay, do you like the way it flies? I was in speed 1 with you. There's 2 and there's 3. So you can go even faster. Also, there's some decals. And did you know this canopy opens? How does that open, hon?
I don't know. We didn't open it before.
I think they showed it on the
Or does it open from the top?
Maybe it opens from the top. But you can decal this up. I thought it opened. They made it sound like it opened.
I know, I thought they did too.
So now, if you want to take that battery out, I want to see if you can handle taking the battery out. It's press down here and then slide it out. Okay?
It's hard.
You think you can get it? Do you want me to get it?
Maybe show him once, and so he kind of knows what to expect.
So you press down here. No, it's just hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that snaps in.
You have to kind of do it with your thumbnail a little bit.
And that's 950 milliamp hours, so it's a pretty big battery. Okay, so let's show you how to plug it in. We'll just bring you around here. So if you're done charging or you're done flying for a little bit, on this, there's a blue light that's on. Can you see the blue light? Okay, I want you to see if you can figure out how to plug that in carefully. Remember, it's keyed, so it only goes one way. Kind of line it up. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. See, there you go. We got a kid that does it.
Red.
The kid's gonna be able to take care of it. And you got a red light. Now that red light's gonna turn to a blue light when it's done. So it's gonna take some time to charge because it's a pretty big battery. Mm-hmm. And this is not a super fast charger. But just remember, this is a slightly different plug. And the way that this sticks in, we can't use those regular chargers we use with the four-way chargers. Okay, so what do you think? Pretty awesome, right? I thought it was pretty awesome. I like that quad. It did really good. It's got plenty of power. I think it's still largely going to be an indoor flying drone.
Yeah.
But on Speed 3, I think you could get away with flying this outside. Now, also inside the box, it comes with what looks like a little helipad if you wanted to cut it out. And there's also decals and all sorts of different little things that are in this bag. So if you decide you want to learn more about the Bear or whatever, if you're into that sort of thing, I don't know if you are, but there's decals that you can put on this body all over it. If you want to spend some time, you can do that and it'll look really cool. Same thing here with the canopy.
See, there's the cockpit, so it's got to open somehow.
Yep. And then it even comes...
There's a hinge right there. I'm pretty sure it would open.
It even comes with trading cards, which is pretty cool. So as you collect different items, then you can see if you like them. This will store in here if you want to, so that it keeps it in the box. Or you can actually break this off and have a little heli landing pad, which is pretty cool.
Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to do that? Okay, cool. So there you have it, guys. The kids are gonna love this thing. I think it's well done. It's not too small, it's not too lame, it's not too weak. My only fear is that people are going to, oh, and by the way, there is a downward facing sensor here. So we call that an optical flow sensor. And what that uses is a vision system that's gonna help hold its position. So it auto levels. So when you let go of the sticks, it levels itself. And then of course it's got the optical flow sensor. Some of the modes that is off, and other of the modes it's not. And obviously the one touch flips are very easy to execute, and it comes with all sorts of extra value. So I'm really impressed with this product. Is it the best drone we've ever touched? I don't know that it is. Is it better than average? I think it's better than average. I hope the price point is right, because if the price is right, and here's how you can find out how much it's gonna cost for you, because you might be watching this video after prices have increased or decreased, depending on how long it's been. Check the links in the video description below. When you buy these things from the links, you help support Brian Phillips RC and the different things that we do for the RC community. So we hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we think this is a pretty good product.
And from the mom perspective, as the person that's here when he's flying by himself during the day, I like the lights for orientation for kids, and I feel like this has more protection around the blades than some of the other things that he's had.
It's got strength to it.
Yep.
It's not just an unresilient thing. Now, the other thing too I noticed is that these props are down, which do make me a little bit nervous, but there is quite a bit of clearance here. You can kind of see here, that's a long dip before it hits the ground.
Yep.
So my fear is you get into hair.
Yep.
And if you get hairs on there, it's a pain. But in order to fix that, what you'll do is you'll grab this and pull these props off, and then your motor comes out. But if your motor's out, then it should make it pretty easy to do this. Now, if you can't get that motor off, you can use a flat screwdriver to pry it, and it will pop off. But just be careful and be mindful as you do play with these. Don't land in your sister's hair.
Yeah.
You guys see that little rail? That rail, that opening, is where this wire needs to feed if you accidentally yank your motor out. And then there's just a little bit of resistance on that black ring. Okay. So if you actually pull a motor out like I just did, you can just press it back in. It's just a press fit. Okay, so super impressive. Are you gonna put the decals on at some point?
Probably.
Okay, cool. We'll let you do that because it'll be a fun project for you. The other thing too is I think you could get away with a little bit of outdoor flight. I'm not so sure that the upside down motors are gonna be good, but I do like that it keeps the center of mass down, which is kind of cool looking. It's a neat finish. A lot of times the drones have the motors, you know, going the other direction. So the weight of the motor is actually down here and then the fan is up here. But they keep this real sleek and it's really cool. I think it's gonna be easier to load the battery after a time or two of in and out.
I bet so.
I definitely think that if there was a way to order some extra batteries with this, I think it would be better. And they do suggest this for 8+, so we have an 8+ year old, and so he'll be fine on that. But I think that's a pretty realistic, you know, age constraint. If you had a younger kid that had, you know, good skills, you could easily do it. But you're probably going to have a little bit more adult supervision required.
He's been flying off and on for the last year solid, then maybe a little bit before that.
He flew before that, but it wasn't as much without direct immediate assistance.
Yes.
Okay. Also, this is bigger.
It is a little bigger.
It's about like twice as big as some of your other drones. We've had drones this big before, and we've had a few that are really good, but they're also quite expensive.
Yeah.
So I think this one's going to be quite a bit cheaper, and that's always great. So if you're looking for a quick gift idea, great choice. Obviously, the Flight is not super long though. That was one of the only other things I noticed. I didn't push it, but I would say that we could have ran it out of battery. Remember, I tested the emergency stop. It wasn't totally dead.
Right. It was about 8. You were a little over 8 minutes in.
But it didn't die.
No.
Yet. Now, when you see those lights start flashing, that's a good indication to land. If you wait and you do things like I do, then you'll go fly it over the pond and it'll like run out of battery and go splash. Don't do that, okay? But really exciting, cool product, good job. Mach 500 is what this is called. Hisingy?
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 I don't know how you pronounce it.
Well, whatever it is, it seems pretty good. And it's definitely got this nice retail packaging on it, and it is definitely branded mostly to children. But I'm gonna say, if you're an adult child like me, you'll enjoy it. So check out the links in the video description below. And by the way, we should have a few more products from this brand coming, and we're excited to bring them to you. So check them out. If you want to find similar products, check out brianphillipsrc.com or go to bprc.me. It's the same place, it's a short link, it's easier to type. And when you get there, you can sort by type on what you want to see. And you can see playlists that will come up, and then also the buy purchase option, okay? When you follow those links, you help support Brian Phillips RC. Same thing would happen if you went to the video description below. You'll see a link to this particular product if you want to buy one for yourself, or if you think it'd be a great gift idea. Follow those links. You can also check pricing, or if you need to download a manual or something like that, you can actually do that. And I left the manual over here. There is a manual for that.
And it's a pretty decent manual, just flipping through it. It's, yeah.
So some manuals are very bad from China. And so our videos are more productive on those ones because people need help. But this thing is pretty self-explanatory. I love that they spell out the instructions literally on every key.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I don't love that the trimmers are over here. It's confusing. Most of these drones do not have trim at all. And trimmers are so much easier than just depending on a gyro calibration, okay? So from a technical standpoint, I think this thing does really well. It's also brushed motors, so eventually they're gonna fail. Eventually you're gonna get hair stuck in this, and you just have to figure out how you wanna tolerate that, okay? So is it imperfect? No. Does it have a lot of the same problems we've had on other drones? I think it probably will manifest, but I think it's gonna do a little better because of the stronger body, and it's also got a nice bigger battery, which is kind of cool. I would like to see a more conventional plug, and I'd like to see it so that I can plug it into other charging apparatuses easier. But beyond that, I think it's a pretty good choice. And I think most people that don't have a lot of other equipment are not gonna notice or care, okay? So at this point, good choice, check it out. Links in the video description below if you want to buy one. Good job flying. Also, if you want to support Brian Phillips RC in other ways, we have Patreon for monthly support, YouTube members for monthly support as well. And we have YouTube super thanks as well as PayPal if you don't want to be part of those clubs. And then we have a PO box. If you want to send something, just let us know with an email ahead of time so we know to look for it. But for now, there's so much more right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to smash the like button on the way out and click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe, because we will bring you much more content just like this, if not even better. And we'd love to have you back. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.